Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the first round in the High Velocity Racing ARCA series. Brand new series here for us over here at High Velocity Racing. I know we're all excited to get this one underway. As we saw the last two nights in a row, Super Speedway week does continue. We are back at Daytona for some more Super Speedway action again, as previously aforementioned in the ARCA car. We got about 30 or so drivers out there on track right now. We're estimated to get around 30 to 40 in that range. So definitely a lot of drivers out there and a lot of opportunity for chaos. Going to be joined up here in the booth by none other than Sean Happy Happick, and we'll have Sean Wilder in here as well throughout the night. He's going to be handling some of the race control stuff, and we all know how chaotic that can be. But boys, how excited are we for this debut in the ARCA series here?
I am very excited. We had a great turnout in our truck series with 47 trucks taking the field and relatively low cautions, all things considered. I would say 60-70% of the guys new coming in the league, really the first time racing around each other, had a great race, low cautions. Yeah, it was all around good. And then Monday we had our Gen 6. We had about 20 drivers in that. We didn't have a caution the first two stages, so a handful of cautions after that, but that ended up to be a real good race as well. So I'm hoping to follow the same suit here.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to get the season started. Hopefully I'm not too busy tonight with the race control stuff, but we had a lot of practice races, so hopefully they should all be ready to go.
I think you'll be busy.
Yeah, you're going to be busy, bro. I'm just going to tell you now.
But maybe not. We did. The last one we did wasn't so bad, right? If I remember right, we've done so many Daytonas, I can't even remember now.
No, it wasn't bad. It was six cautions, I think. It wasn't bad at all.
And that was a full mock race, right?
Right. Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. Last Tuesday.
Yep. Could you do us a favor and get us a fuel load?
Oh yeah, let me get that real quick.
So, Bryce, we only have we just do competition cautions here. No stage points. No reason. These guys. This is our entry level series, so we just want these guys just to work on their racecraft, have some fun. So just a competition caution. I believe it's at lap 23, and we have 70 total laps tonight with 2 extra tire sets and a fast repair.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what the strategy is. There definitely is a trick to qualifying and getting your way up towards the front. I mean, you're never really fully safe, no matter where you're at. I mean, there's always a high risk of some potential chaos, but that's kind of comes with the territory. But yeah, I mean, like you said, there's if you're in the back of the field, there's really no need to make an immediate push towards the front. Like I said, no stage points or anything like that playing out. I'm sure a lot of these guys will kind of take the first 15 20 laps or so to kind of get a feel, learn who they can push around, who they can't, and kind of go from there. But I mean, like I said, nobody's really safe tonight, so it's going to be interesting to see kind of where the chaos is going to begin, if it does at all. I mean, with all due respect, I think it's a little wishful thinking to to think this one's going to go pretty clean, but we could be surprised.
Well, it's inevitable. We're going to have the big one. I mean, it just happens. So, but it is true. Caution's precaution. So, if we can make it a long way before we even get a caution, I think that would say a lot about these guys. Hopefully they take their time. And I mean, I know a lot of these guys are new, but there's no sense rushing up there on the first couple laps.
Well, and the thing about it too, there comes a point. I mean, staying in the back or staying out of trouble, that's all fine and dandy. I mean, obviously, you have to be there at the end to have a shot. But there does come a point where it is going to be time to go, and I think that's where things are going to kind of pick up a little bit. I mean, I know me personally, I kind of pride myself on the decision stuff that I make on the super speedways. And I always try to kind of find that line, because if you're in the back, even 20th, 20th, 30th, sometimes even 10th or 15th, if you don't make that move early enough, it's going to come a point where, if these guys do feel comfortable, you could be 3 wide. And I mean, that's probably going to be pushing it here tonight, but there's just physically nowhere to go at that point, right? So you got to really make sure that you're timing that run to the front, trying to find some friends, trying to find some teammates to make sure you guys can work together and put yourself in the best position possible. But if you wait too long, you're going to be stuck like it's stop and go traffic on the interstate.
I will agree. I am looking forward to how the points play out, because with no stages, really it's going to come out to just your leading the lap, your pole position, your fastest lap, your biggest mover, your 0x. Then really it's going to be position points. So I think the season's going to be really tight to get into the chase. So every position in this series is definitely going to matter.
Oh, 100%. And I mean, honestly, I think just finishing this race on the lead lap is probably going to give you a decent advantage going into the rest of the season. I know these guys get 1 fast repair. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, 1 fast repair, but there's still plenty of time to use up both of them. Get on the or get a lap down. Excuse me. Or I think we heard some chatter. Some drive-throughs and some incident limits, and that's just kind of the nature of the game at the super speedways, especially with this high of a field too, right? Like, you have 10, 15, even sometimes 20 drivers on track. There's just less chance for something to go wrong. When you have a field of 40 cars, that's 1 mistake amplified by 30 times with the amount of drivers on track.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm sure we're going to see some chaos. I'm sure that we're going to have some people that wreck out or don't finish, or have to serve penalties. And like I said, I mean, if you finish this race on the lead lap, you're already kind of setting yourself up at least on an upward trajectory for the rest of the season.
Yes, sir. Wilder, did you find out our fuel? And is there anyone you wanted to bring in for this last minute here before qualifying?
We're right at 19 to 20 laps, I've been told.
All right.
And yeah, if you want to grab somebody, I'll grab. But go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm trying to pick a name here. I don't know. Well, I guess you pick, because I don't know who all's in voice chat. I was just gonna pick a name, but when I joined,
let's go with
too many people.
Let's grab Mike Burns. He's been pretty active in the Discord. So, hey, Mike Burns, this is Sean Wilder up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
So, how you feeling about tonight's race? You confident? A little nervous? What do you think?
I say a little bit of both.
Do you have
my first real race? So, a little bit of, I am confident, but also nervous.
Well, the good thing is you have some teammates there. I know y'all are pretty active on the team part. So y'all gonna try to link up and work together during this race, or maybe stay at the back, or what y'all's plan?
We got a few tricks up our sleeve.
All right, that's fair enough. I wouldn't tell us either in case some people are scouting out. Bryce, you have anything for Mr. Burns here?
No, you took my question, but no, man, good luck to you and your team. Be safe out there, make smart decisions, and if you're gonna make a decision, just don't hesitate, make it, and try not to give up that right rear, and you should be in a good spot, man. But I know qualifying starting, so we'll get you back down with your team. Good luck in qualifying, and good luck for the race.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
All right, here we go. We're going to follow along with Christopher Dyke here. So what's your plan? Is this kind of the same strategy as all the other oval-type vehicles that iRacing has to offer on the strategy here? Bryce, do you know on these ARCA cars?
For qualifying or just for the race?
Qualifying in general.
I would assume so. As we talked about, I can't remember if it was Sunday. I think it was, because I know I wasn't up there actually too much last night, but there's a lot of different variables when it comes to qualifying. I mean, obviously the car, the package, but another thing there's 2 other variables that a lot of people don't realize. Variable wind plays a pretty big difference for these qualifying laps, as well as track temp. The slicker the track, the more so that that hidden strategy that I have works. But when it's a cold track, oftentimes just running out there and doing 2 hot laps can be kind of the play here. So it just kind of depends on the track conditions. But I would say just kind of with the amount of drivers that we have tonight and kind of the range of skill, if you will, that we're at. The biggest thing at the qualifying is, I mean, line is important to an extent, but just being steady. If you're moving your steering wheel back and forth, left to right in the corners, you're going to be scrubbing speed, and that's ultimately going to put you towards the back. So just being smooth on the steering inputs should get you up pretty close to the front.
Well, let me tell you a little something about our weather today. A good thing is we have low wind, 3 mile an hour, and only 49% humidity. Unfortunately, it's a hot sunny day at Daytona at 85, which leaves our track temperature at 123 degrees tonight.
Yeah, so I mean, these guys are going to have to be careful, right? I mean, again, super speedway, very huge bank turns. Grip isn't necessarily going to be too much of an issue, but it definitely can be. I don't have the most experience in this car yet on the super speedways, but the front nose can definitely get a little light if you're pushing really hard. I don't know that that's going to be an issue tonight, but handling can definitely come into play to an extent. But yeah, I mean, I know you mentioned that it's only 3 mile an hour wind, but that 3 mile an hour wind is a big difference. And especially, I don't know, I don't have the session details as far as being in there, but if that 3 mile an hour is a headwind down the whole backstretch versus a tailwind, that's time that you're going to be losing. So, if that wind is changing directions throughout these qualifying laps, does it make a huge difference? Is it going to cost you a whole second? No, but even a couple thousandths, even a tenth sometimes. And, looking at these qualifying times here, those fine margins make all the difference. I mean,
Dude,
look
they
at
are
Brandon
close.
Dayhoff and Catchmar right there. I mean, their times come across the pylon at the exact same time, and it's within a thousandth of each other. So with qualifying being as tight as it is at these kind of tracks, every little detail matters.
No, from first to 10th is not even a tenth. First place to 10th place isn't even a full tenth.
Yeah, I mean, two tenths from first to last right now on the dot. And that's the biggest thing though. Talking strategy and talking the car. I mean, qualifying for the most part pretty straightforward, but how these guys are going to be able to manage the draft is going to be important as well. I know I again haven't had time to run this car since they did update the draft model a little bit, but if these cars are anything like they are on the mile and a half or anywhere else, the runs in these cars, they come hard, they come fast. I know it sounds like I'm talking about something a little bit different there, but the runs are very, very strong here, and that's something that you have to be careful with. It's obviously a double-edged sword, right? Because it can be an advantage, but these drivers are really going to have to maintain checking their mirrors, looking left, looking right, and communicating with their team, right? We heard, I believe it was Chris yesterday, talking about just how important it was to have teammates, if he was at the back of the field, and to have teammates that were towards the front that could let him know what's going on. That's going to be very important here tonight as these drivers manage being side by side, door to door, 2 wide, 3 wide, pushing 3-4 cars deep around a super speedway at, I would say, around, I think, mid 190s in this car, 180, 190. That's things move really fast, so they're going to have to be on top of it.
Yes, sir. It looks like we've had 30 that have put down a lap, 31 maybe. That might be in the session. Oh, yeah, because it's about time to grid. So it looks like only 31 out of 36 checked in. Give them a little slap on the wrist.
Mm-hmm. Everybody that signed up and didn't race, that's a 20-point penalty now.
So we will see if Wilder set that. Yep, he did.
So that's at 10 minutes for you guys. You see that?
No, yeah, I see it at the bottom, but that's fine. Just whenever you're ready, man. When you get done with your drivers meeting, and I'll go over the grid right now.
Copy.
As soon as they start gridding, of course. Well, do you have any favorites here, Bryce? I don't know if you can really see the tower.
Yeah, no, I can see it looks good. Do I have a favorite? Honestly, no. And here's the reason. there's a lot of unknown coming in tonight, right? I mean, teams, drivers. I mean, literally brand new series. Everything is brand new. I mean, sure that we have, you know, some guys returning from last season, in the trucks, but new car, new series, new teams, and I mean, you can like again. I pride myself on being a pretty good super speedway racer. However, you can't do it alone at these tracks. And I know what I'm about to say is going to sound blatantly obvious, but whoever can have the most teamwork and work together with a couple other drivers is going to be the one that takes the win tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what about
There we
you?
go.
You know these guys a little bit more just because you've been around. So, I mean, do you have any picks tonight?
Yeah, I mean, Dayhoff, I'm just gonna have to go with the guys I truly know, Dayhoff and like Corey Moore, up there, even Zimmel's up there, and there's a few other guys that I've raced around. Like you said, there's a lot of unknowns. So, I would have to say Corey Moore, Dayhoff would be my favorite, but like you said, at these tracks, man, it doesn't really matter.
No, and I mean, not to. I mean, we saw it even. I mean, way back in the Cup Series, right? Too, like we had our team that pretty much had control of the whole race, and all it took was a half a corner for things to go wrong, and we're all out of the race. So, I mean, that's how quick things happen. Again, the next gen car at the super speedways, obviously, you have a higher threshold with speed, but the speed happens so quick here as well. But I know these drivers are on the grid. We can go ahead and kind of go over our starting grid. Starting on the front row, on the inside line, we got the number 1 of 50 or 51 of Brandon Dayhoff. Again, he's going to be our pole for tonight. In the second place position on his outside, we got the number 33 of Joe Katchmar. In row 2, one of your picks here as well. So two of your picks here in the front 2 rows, not bad for you. Number 45 of Corey Moore, veteran driver here with us now. Followed by, it looks like on his outside, we've got Alfie Aldhouse in number 30 Kinetic. Shout out Cletus McFarland, ripping around Daytona like a bald eagle. Come on. And we have potentially somebody from way across the pond. Looking at that flag there, the number 16 of Braden Deeney. And we got our first Tex Hio Motorsports driver. Again, you had mentioned that their team has been pretty vocal in the team chat. So the number 77 of Reno Connor is going to be starting in row number 3, followed by, I believe that is the number 46 of Ryan Stevenson. It looks like a potential teammate there if I'm seeing that correctly. So
You are correct, yes.
Yep, so those two will be looking to get hooked up. And then in the 8th place spot, we've got the number 11 of Forrest Martin. And rounding out your top 10 for tonight in our 5th and final row in the top 10, the number 23 of Tim Taylor. And his outside is another one of your drivers that you had mentioned, who is also showing as the number 11 of Frank Zimmel. So, or is Martin the 11 or the 17th in the 8th place spot? I can't really see what that number is there. It looks like we might have 2 11s in the session.
17. That is 17.
Is it 17?
Yes,
okay.
sir.
Yeah, I'm on a little iPad here. But yeah, so there's your top 10 for tonight. Again, a couple of your picks up in the top 10. I'm starting to think that may have been a little calculated, but go ahead and round out here. And it looks like they're still gridding up and everything. So you could probably get through the top 20 here.
Oh, yeah. And then we have starting P7, Robert Cheswick. Then P12 is going to be Kale Dees.
These nuts.
I got him. Then 13th we have Christopher Moreland, and then 14th Josh Rebel, and 15th Quinn McLean, and then 16th Mike Burns, which is another teammate of Tex Hio. And I know Quinn has a brother. I'm curious to see where he ended up qualifying. I'm sure we'll come down and find him shortly. Oh, starting P17 is James Bolka. P18, John Shields.
Another veteran driver with us.
Yep. P19, he was in our trucks, but couldn't make a lot of races last season, so hopefully he can make some more. The Christopher Dyke. And outside him in P20 is Carson Smith.
And starting in row number 11, we got the number 24 of Gregory Vadnai. I assume that's how you say that. followed by the number 20 on his outside of Richard Brissett. And in row number 12, we got Andrew Ziegler, followed by Sean McLean. Is that the brother you were
It
referencing? It
is,
was.
yes, sir.
So not too far apart from each other. They'll still have a little bit of work to get back to each other, but they should be able to manage that. Scroll on to that next page for me there, if you don't mind, and your old SDK there. There you go. Let's see. And it sounds like these engines are finally maybe getting fired up as well. But in P25, we got John Stapleton in the number 56 Ford Mustang machine with Jace Keller in the number 1 Chevy SS and his outside. In the 27th spot, we've got Kenyo de Oliveira. There we go. There's my payback for giving you a hard name there. Please, if you do watch this back, please let us know if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm sure I didn't. It's a sharp-looking car, though. No pun intended there, a sharp car. And in P28, we've got the number 29 of Tyler Ballman. Thad Miller going to be starting in row number 15 in the number 46 Ford machine, followed by Scott Stotler in the 88 Chevy SS. And in our final spot of the night, the number 92 of Brent McKee. He's, I think, won a pre-race in our preseason race here. So, again, a mile and a half super speedway, a little bit of a difference there, but we'll see if he can get back to the podium when it matters the most. But these drivers are firing off, getting lined up here 2 by 2 behind the old iRacing Ford Mustang pace car. We got 70 laps here tonight. This is going to be a good one.
Oh, yeah, 70 laps. Competition caution will be at 23. 2 additional tire sets and 1 fasten pair. Like I said, it's going to be a little hot today. Still don't think tire wear or any slipping should have too much of an effect, but it probably definitely affect the way you draft a little bit. But I'm excited to see how this plays out.
Yeah, I'll try to kind of call things out as they're happening too. Again, I can't stress enough how big the runs are in this car. And, you can be pretty aggressive with the slam drafting, if you will, in these cars. But if these drivers aren't paying attention to these runs, it could cause some serious issues. So they're really going to have to be on their toes to manage when those runs are coming and who they're coming from. And there's going to be a lot of teamwork that needs to be had here tonight to get this one done.
It'll also be interesting on this fuel run if they get 18 and 19 laps and it's 23. Is anybody? I'm sure if it goes green, we'll see. But I'm sure fuel probably won't be an issue.
No, yeah, and they'll be able to stretch it in the draft, but the green flag is off here in the Geico restart zone. It looks like the number 30 car on the outside gets a little bit of a rocky start, but so far so good, no issues. Everybody kind of equal distance apart, just trying to give each other room. And those 2 cars there on the bottom, I believe that's going to be Dayhoff or even more, if I'm not mistaken. They're going to be hooked up. They're going to get a run. That's going to bring the cars on the inside closer, but that top line now going to be hooked up. So number 30 goes down to the bottom line. So we're going to be at least another lap and a lap to a half for these drivers on the outside to really generate some momentum there. But these front 2 drivers starting to push away a little bit. Number 16 just being a little timid right now on that bumper, trying not to cause anything too early.
Definitely, I would love. I'm sure Dayhoff's happy to be linked up with another experienced driver here, and then somebody he also raced with in truck. So I'm sure he's happy to have him behind him, even though I don't believe they're teammates.
Yeah, and again, going to be the theme of the night here, the double-edged sword. With that fuel window, I know, again, the comp caution doesn't pay any points, but, if he's going to sit here and lead out front this whole stint, he's definitely going to have to fuel up before that break there, which may not be a bad thing. You could flip I'm going to say stage, but, you could flip the stage here, but then again, that track position puts you right back up front and you're burning all that fuel again. So, again, not seeing too many people being aggressive right now. Feel pretty spaced out, which is kind of what would be expected, but don't look too far away now because we got 2 teammates there on the bottom line in the 3rd and 4th slot down the bottom. Let's see if they look to make a run.
Starting off good so far. I feel like everybody's giving each other room. I'm glad they're not really utilizing the side draft so much, right now. You got to feel the car out a little bit, a couple laps, kind of feel. I think by the competition caution, I feel like you can start being a little bit more aggressive, and you kind of understand who you can work with. As we see 30 getting to the wall there.
Yeah, I had me a little worried right there. It looks like he almost came down, but everybody manage it. Yeah, Corey Moore pushing hard too. Another thing that these drivers are going to have to be careful of as well is managing those engine temperatures. Doesn't appear like it's going to be an issue too much right now with how spread apart they are, but I know that Corey Moore has been pretty hard on the Brandon Dayhouse bumper, so he'll just have to keep those temps in mind as we see a little bit of a loose moment there. Everybody able to hold on to it, but again, handling not so much an issue on your lap to lap, but it's those quick moves like that where you have to make a dive to the low side or the high side that can really upset the car. And these drivers will feel that towards the end of these stints. So, I mean, again, handling, it's not like a mile and a half, but we're making those split decisions, so we have to be careful not to get caught out because these cars will catch us slipping.
I'm really surprised those two teammates on the outside with, I believe that's Reno and Ryan Stevenson. It looks like they weren't getting much help up the top line. They're catching up now, but they were keeping up with that line of 5 or 6.
Well, they did a good job there, right? They were 3rd and 4th in line at the bottom, and when they went up high, those front 2 cars, it brings them back because you got about a 4 or 5 car length gap between the second car on the inside versus the car that is now the 3rd in line but was the 5th car, right? So that gives the outside line time to get momentum to catch back up to those front 2 while those 2 cars on the inside are actually brought back. So not a bad move. I knew it would take a couple laps for that outside line to get rolling again, to get some cars up there to commit to it. So they calculated that move pretty well, and now they're up there outside on the front row.
Pretty good place to be.
If some of these guys, there's a group of 3.
No, that was a bad bump by his teammate there. Oh, they're going end over there.
1 car on the side.
All right, we will take a look back at that. See where this all started. See Reno trying to push his teammate Stevenson there. I know it was a push. I don't know if he got him loose. Stevenson. Yep, Steven gets a little bit loose. Yep, just gets him right there in the corner.
Yeah, that's how quick it happens in these cars. These noses are not as square as the next gen. So, when you're pushing somebody like that, it's your responsibility to modulate the distance to the car in front of you. And we see he gets a little loose. That gets the car offset just that tiny little bit to the right rear, sends him around, and at that point, you're just along for the ride.
Yeah, let's take a good cockpit view. Let's see with John Stapleton back here. Let's see what that poor guy had to deal with going through all that. Maybe we'll be lucky and he's one of them that might have made it through.
Yeah, does a good job getting it slowed down.
He does a real good job. Yep. That will avoid a lot of X's there for him.
Yeah, and that's, I could
go. Oh, no. Oh.
A little contact there, but he should be all right. And, I could go on and on, giving strategy here, but that's another thing at these super speedways as well. You hear them at the high bank tracks, your Talladega, your Daytona, your Dovers, your Bristol, those tracks that have such severe banking. It's a self-clearing track. And if you don't know what that means, basically is what goes up must come down, right? And a lot of the times with these wrecks, you'll see, even if they start high or if they start low, they usually drift high and then they eventually work their way back down. So again, good job there from him getting it woe down there, kind of seeing the wreck far enough ahead of him, able to get down to the bottom and maneuver from there. Gets in the grass, loses a little bit of handling, but just a slight little bump. I don't think that'll hurt him too much here for the race.
I don't think but I believe they're a sister team of K&W Motorsports.
Who would that be?
Texile. And that would explain their training there.
Gotcha. They could have picked a better team to train with.
I just meant them taking
shots fired.
I just meant with them taking each other out. I don't even think they know each other.
I see what you're saying. I gotcha.
Teammate on teammate crime, man. The worst of them all.
Yes. Yeah, well, I'm seeing Matthew Chase here commenting in the chat. Where are you at, bub? Get your butt in here and let's get the broadcast going. But shout out to all the drivers or all the fans in the chat right now, shouting out their favorite drivers. if you guys are still in here, maybe let's get a little bit of a location roll call. Where are you guys all watching from here? But yeah, just nothing too egregious on that last accident there. Again, it's kind of par for the course here at the super speedways. Just a little bit of an inch of offset, and around she went.
So Dayhoff went in. I'm sure he just topped off on fuel. Would you have tried to save there, or would you try to go ahead and fuel, make sure you can make it to the comp caution, but now you're back in the hornet's nest?
Well, here's the great thing, right? I don't dislike what Dayhoff did at all, and I'll tell you why. No, I mean, again, the competition caution doesn't pay out points, so he's not really losing anything. He got his lead lap bonus, so no harm, no foul there. The great news is he's already went in now to the pits, and he's topped off his can of fuel, right? Mm-hmm. Right in the back of the field, save as much fuel as possible. When we get to that competition caution, you can still pit. You're going to have to take less fuel than everybody else in the pits. You're going to be in and out of your stall quicker. Will that cycle him all the way up to the front row? Probably not, but he's still going to gain a lot of that track position back by doing that. So
it seems like he's still in 10th or 11th, so that actually wasn't too bad for him. So I'm assuming a lot of people decided to pit with him as well.
Yeah, and again, a lot of people, probably having that same idea, right? I mean, these super speedways, there's not like groundbreaking technology strategies at these super speedways. It's all pretty relative for the most part. So I'm sure Dayhoff did bring a couple people down pit road. And I mean, if he stays, in that top 10 when that competition caution comes out, or if we do get another caution for cause, that should cycle him back up pretty close to the front. Again, just less time on pit road, less fuel. And that really matters under yellow flag pit stops where margins are so small.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm hoping to see a little bit later in the race that we're going to see a green flag pit stop, hopefully, because that sure does change up a lot of stuff. I'm sure a lot of these guys, it took me a long time to get used to pitting aggressively, and I'm still not even very good at it. It is something you definitely have to practice, and it will make a difference.
We saw it twice last night with William Kern too, towards the front of the field, and has issues getting on pit road twice in a row, and I mean, able to still bounce back with a good finish. But green flag pit stops definitely separate the men from the boys, especially at super speedways. But now, with that being said, Reno O'Connor takes the green flag here once again at Daytona International Speedway. Bottom line there, tucked up a little bit closer together, but Connor will have a teammate just a couple rows behind him on the outside line. They're going to be looking to get hooked up and try to make a run towards the front. And momentum, we see some pretty big separation throughout the field, though. So there's going to be some big runs coming from the mid to the back of the field.
Speaking of that, we got Alfie Althouse there leading on the outside in that number 30. One of our guys from across the pond as well.
Good on, Mike.
So nice to see him jump. What are they, like 6, 7, 8 hours ahead, aren't they?
In Australia, brother, they're like a day ahead, dude. Now, if they're in London, UK, yeah, they're 6 hours ahead of Central Standard Time, depending on where they're at. But
okay,
if he's the bloke from Australia, yeah, I think it's Wednesday there, brother.
Oh no, I think we used to race on the Friday league. It was 8 o'clock, and it was like noon there the next day. So, yeah. So apparently it's Wednesday about 11 a.m. or so there, if I had to guess.
Yeah, depending on what side of the continent, it's either anywhere between 8 o'clock in the morning to 12 o'clock in the morning. So,
well, ain't nothing like a good lunch break race.
Yeah, right. It's gonna be a pretty long lunch to get this one taken care of.
I just switched to it as well. That should bring out our caution there. Number 20 there. Richard Brissett. See what happens here.
It's not clear. Tight race in there. You see 28 kind of gets on the apron. That does shove him up a little bit, but just not really any room for him there. 20 just kind of pinching him down. And when you're racing that tight and that hard, there's going to be contact, and at the speeds we're going here, that's
yeah, there's just yeah. I mean, you don't really have to really get that close, you know. Lap 9, 10. Really not a whole bunch of people involved there. You know, looks like a lot of people missed. Probably 3 or 4 cars that got a pretty good damage. Well, heck, I guess let's see these guys pit. We'll go ahead and pull up. Let's see. Not a whole lot of people in teams today, so we'll just pull up Reno Connor since he's leading it. It doesn't look like he's pitting.
Yeah, why not?
All right. All right, he's up here. Go ahead, Bryce.
Well, Reno Connor, this is Bryce up here in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, man.
You find yourself up on the front row. You had some help with a teammate there. You guys get into a little scuffle, but so far, you're still leading the pack up front, man. How does it feel out there leading all 30 other cars up there? And what's the game plan moving forward here for the rest of the race?
It feels good to be first in line. I don't really like how I got here because I was trying to be a little too aggressive and get our team up front. And I pushed my teammate a little bit too hard, and he got loose, and that's how that happened. But right now we're discussing pitch strategy. We've got some zones and laps we want to hit with these wrecks. It's kind of changed out a little bit because we've had some damage with our teammates, but I'm able to follow our pitch strategy okay right now. We'll see how it goes, but my plan right now is to try to stay up front as long as possible and try to hit those zones.
Absolutely, man. Well, good luck to you and your team out there. Look forward to maybe hearing from you guys here later on throughout the night. Good luck.
Thanks, man.
All right, Reno Connor, the 77 out front right now. So hopefully some of his teammates can get up there with him and they work together and try it again.
Yeah, nothing to it but to do it. So again, these drivers get a faster pair, and it's still pretty early on in the race. So if these drivers have damage up to this point, not the end of the world. They can probably get a good majority of it fixed without having to use that faster pair. You'd like to keep that faster pair in the back pocket for as long as possible, especially later on in the race. So we'll see kind of how that plays out here. War of attrition going to be important.
Yeah, how Wilder, how are you liking the race so far? TP's muted. There you go.
It's going okay. I mean, there's just a couple little incidents there. But yeah, I mean, some guys were. I guess one guy was junked up a little bit, so some guys had to pass him. But I mean, as far as the race itself, I wish it was a little cleaner. But I mean, I think we were kind of expecting this. Hopefully, we get a good, green flag run here after this. We got what 10 laps or so to the caution, so the comp caution.
Yes. Which I guess it's not. Pacing sucks at Daytona, Talladega. Such long laps. I mean, it's good, I guess, if you have damage because you can get about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes done. But yeah, these pacing laps suck because they're so long. So cautions are awful when you're out there in the cockpit.
Well, they are lining up 2 by 2, so we will take the green flag here again for the third time tonight. We'll see, again, drivers may be being a little bit timid on the restarts. We'll see if these drivers kind of tighten it up a little bit here and generate those runs here a little bit earlier on than they have been up to this point.
Yeah, definitely. We should go green with 14 laps down in our. So we should have 9 to go for our comp caution. So see if we can't keep her green for those 9 laps there. Have a good finish. And it looks like the top 6 have not pitted. So, which they should probably be okay now. Being about 4 or 5 laps shy.
It's going to be close. Going to be close, I think. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, it just depends on how efficient they were able to be saving on the caution. I don't know if these guys are shutting engines off. But 2 cautions and, a decent amount of the guys that did the first time around, they should be pretty decent on the field here.
And look who's up front now.
Number 23, Tim Taylor, but the outside line, not too content with that. He's probably going to get his doors blown off on the outside line here, and that he does. The 77 and the 9, and Brandon Dayhoff back up front now, trying to make a move to get in front of these cars here on the bottom row.
All right, come on, Tool Man.
Yeah, you can see these top, 10, 11, 12 cars kind of getting separation on the rest of the field. We'll see if those guys, towards the mid-pack of the field can get caught up here. And that's a big gap between those 2 packs right here, too. I mean, that's going to be a lot of ground for those guys to make up. I mean, again, sure, they're not really racing for anything. Maybe they're just trying to save fuel a little bit here. I'm not too sure, but this front group is really starting to pull away.
Yeah, this second gap, I noticed there was some of the guys that were doing pretty good in the preseason races. I'm wondering if they're just laying back, trying to stay out of the mess here. The 33 and the 92 both showed well in the preseason races, as well as Forrest. So yeah, maybe they're just chilling back here.
Oh, we have a caution. Brandon Deney.
No, that's not a good sign.
No.
Oh, this is towards the front, too.
It is. We get a far chase on that. Well, this is one of them, but we should be able to catch what's good. Was that another bad push?
No, this is that first accident, Bob.
Oh, yeah, it is. About to say. Whoop, scroll down. Oh, it was Brian Stevenson this time.
Uh-oh, well.
it just happened to be another one of them. Oh, let's see what we have here.
Yeah, kind of just meet in the middle. Stevenson's trying to follow the toe of the 33. Not quite clear. He kind of realizes it, but it looks like the 22 of McLean kind of comes up. They kind of meet in the middle there. I mean, you can see he's roping the yellow line down there at the bottom, and then he just kind of comes up as Stevenson's coming down. Just a racing deal, unfortunate, but doesn't look like really any real damage to either one of those cars. So they'll get it going again, and they'll be on.
That is good. That is good. Well, that's a good thing. These wrecks, I've seen all season long. The trucks did really good on mowing down these trucks, and it looks like these ARCA guys are doing the same, because it is key to keep your incidents down for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Stevenson's going to be, at least 8 now already between those 2 contacts. But, yeah, he's still got a little bit of wiggle room, not a whole lot, but yeah, definitely going to have some of these guys focus up a little bit more here on these incident points so they don't have to deal with some troubles throughout the rest of the season. Isn't that right, Wilder?
Huh?
Hopefully everybody's staying off hopefully nobody's getting too hot and heavy. We call that the Wilder rule.
We got a couple Wilders out there.
Oh my. See a lot of people wanting to cruise down that left lane as well. Reno Connor. Mm-hmm. He's going to get him a no slip.
Yeah, it just seems just not clear incidents, right? That's what it seems like. They're just not
yeah.
Not clear when there's a car beside them, and just not being aware a little bit a couple times there. So
well, shoot, I'm going to go ahead and pull Corey Moore up here. Hey, Corey Moore, you're up here with Sean, Bryce, and Sean 2.0. How's your race going so far, man?
Hey, how are you guys doing tonight?
Oh, we're doing okay. How are you? That's the question.
Not too bad, not too bad. The car's feeling pretty good. I got a little bit of wheel damage right now, avoiding that last wreck, but it seems to be okay, and we're going to try and push her to the front for this comp caution.
All right. Have you? Do you know how much damage you have, or you haven't went in since then?
No, I haven't gone in since then, but I'm able to keep up with the drafts, and everything seems to be tidy enough to keep rolling, so I think we're going to be okay.
All right, that is good to hear. Bryce, you got anything for old Corey?
Oh, not a whole lot, man. I don't think you've really fallen out of the top 5 so far, so good to see you up there, and good luck to you. Try to keep her clean. I know that's a tough task here at the super speedways, but so far we like what we're seeing, man. Keep it up, and good luck to you.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right. Hey, Corey, what team were you in, buddy?
Rush.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Good luck.
Thank you.
I don't
You know, I gotta be honest. I think that's the first time I ever heard him talk, and that is not at all what I expected.
Oh, really? Oh, well, he was my teammate last season, so.
I pictured him being some
Country
pork
bumpkin.
and bean eating, and he comes in here all, oh yeah, but don't you know?
Corey, yeah, he's a good guy. He's actually really quiet on our team chat. Last season in trucks, he really didn't say much. I think he just listened and put his head down and did his thing. But super nice guy.
Speaking of Corey Moore, what about that logo that's down there on the bottom left-hand side of the broadcast?
Oh, well, he did sponsor the league, and I do give him a shout out, but I don't have anything pulled up for him just yet.
Gotta be prepared for that, man.
Well, I'm new. But, Corey, we do appreciate you sponsoring this ARCA League for DPR. So, I give him a shout out, a big thank you to that. So, he's definitely been a member since our first season. So, he was here our first season, right? I'm almost positive.
Season 2.
Okay. Well, if he was, wasn't either way, he's been quite a long time member. So, I always like racing with you, Corey, and appreciate all the help you're giving these guys in this league.
And look at what the cat dragged in.
Well, you guys were talking about DPR. You mean a trusted home remodeling company out of West Bend, Wisconsin, known for their high-quality, reliable home remodeling services? Is that the one you're talking about?
That's the one.
It might be.
Oh. Well, they have craftsmanship, attention to detail, and dedication to your customer satisfaction you're looking for from your home remodeling partners. With more than 10 years of experience, they can help you get that kitchen, bathroom, basement, or whole home remodeled on time and on budget. For more information on DPR and for all the services that they do provide, head to their website, www.dpr-wisco.com. There you go. There's your ad read.
That's exactly what I said.
And just like that, a wild chase disappeared.
Oh, there we got a little incident there in the back. I think, are we still green?
I believe we were when you flipped here.
Oh, that's right. You can't see that. I think we're still green, but I had to see that. There are some laying back going, what are we doing back there, guys?
It looks like he is hurt. That's going to be another no-no.
That
slip
is
probably
Reno
right there,
Reno is in trouble tonight with some no-nos.
Yeah, it's kind of. I just told them when they're on the back stretch, get lined up before 3, you know, and they're waiting until the front stretch to get the gaps closed up.
Well, some of them was, but
effect and,
yeah, Reno went 3 wide. He broke his lane before.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that part of it. I just saw the big checkups and stuff. But anyways, that's the comp caution.
Judging by that replay, I think justice may have served itself there, because I think Reno Connor was doing his best Beyblade impersonation as he got into the inside wall there.
I think you are right. And it looks like Alfie Althouse is going to win, if you want to call it a win, our comp caution.
It's that number 30 kinetic Ford Mustang ripping around Daytona like a bald eagle. That's what that is right there, Bo. Come on.
He's glitching out.
He's too fast, man. It's because his sleeves are cut off. He's able to perform that maneuver.
Ruin the internet.
Yeah, he's on that high latency. Tim probably thought he was in first.
No, he's. I think. Did you already talk about him? I think he's from England or something, somewhere over the other side of the world.
Well, yeah. Well, I know Australians are known for having awful internet connection.
Yeah, we had one driver have some packet loss, 33. That's unfortunate for him. He got back in though, so that's good. We had one driver disconnect.
Okay. I do have the session set up. They did add another option where you can set that up. It'll park them if they're having real bad connection issues.
Yeah, it says here, Alfie, United Kingdom.
Oh, okay. Okay, so it is late for him.
Shows how much I paid attention.
It doesn't. We don't care about the other side of the world.
Well, the way things are going, we might want to start.
I was gonna say something, but
but that's another conversation for another day.
47 car out front. All right, get some new blood up there. He's been up a little bit towards the front, but
would like to talk to Dayoff and them, but them guys want to be in a whole nother server in their team chat.
Oh, they did.
I tell you what,
they'll come back and watch this one, and they'll see everything they're missing out on, and they'll be back here next week, I'm sure.
Like, man, we didn't get to talk to that awesome broadcasting crew up there. Well, how's everything going for you, Bryce? Everything going good with your work up there, man?
Yeah, the work part of it is going great. The not seeing my pregnant wife for 3 weeks is a little rough, and flying from South Florida to Chicago every week is a little exhausting. But as far as the job portion is concerned, so far so good. They got me riding around in a nice car, and I got a really good staff of people to work with. So, could be better, could be worse, but no real complaints here.
You have a due date yet on your a boy? I believe it was, correct?
Yes, sir. Yep, you are correct. Early October is kind of where we're aiming for right now. But anybody that has kids, we all know that could be 2 weeks before, it could be 2 weeks after, it could be who knows. So I might get myself a little birthday present. You never know.
So have you got to even see your wife since you started this, or you haven't, have you?
I have not seen my wife since the day we drove down to Florida.
Oh man.
Yeah, so we're going on about 3 weeks now. A little rough, but
So the next few weeks when you finally get home, we're definitely, you're going to be MIA, I assume.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be around. But the good news is I've had a little bit of issues with some travel coordination, but it all worked out. Fingers crossed. I didn't have a flight scheduled for Friday. It was actually scheduled for Monday, but I was able to get that changed, and I'm actually going to be flying home a little bit early. So if everything sticks and we don't have any issues,
Glen, maybe
I'll have time to practice for Watkins Glen and race it. Hopefully not.
Oh my!
So that would be a good one to get off the scorecard there.
That sure would, because these top, our Cup Series is now in the round of 8, which is going to be a pretty good battle. I'm really excited to see that round of 8.
Yeah, and I've had that one circled since we made the schedule. So as any road course really that we have on the schedule, or super speedway. But enough about that. We're going to go back to green flag racing here this time by. We got that Sharpie car looking sharp again, no pun intended, out front. Going to get a big bump here from the number 9, but that outside line looks like they got some momentum as well.
They do, and Richard Brissett there that was just involved in that last incident. There's Dayoff laying back there in 6th place, so he worked his way up.
Look at how big that run is there on the outside. That's what I was talking about right there. Even just
Oh.
getting a 1-car draft.
Andrew Ziegler, he made some room and
lost
went.
You, if you lost me.
Oh, the 20 gets spun there.
Oh my gosh. Oh no.
Where is that 20 at? There he is. We were going a little aggressive there. That 20 was moving in and out, or well, that 9 was. Let me see where this happened. And it ended up being the 9 and the 20 there. The 20 just coming down, but the 9 had too big of a run. Probably could have gave him a little bit of room there. But that's not how it worked out. Get another angle of that. It's not going to be a good one. I think 9 had to run, and 20 just came down. See if he stays off the track, or did he come back up? Oh, he did come back up. There wasn't nothing 24 could do on that one.
And that's what I was going to. I think I lost you there for a minute, but just goes to show you how big these runs are here. And I mean, he was clear when he started to make the move, but he kind of hesitated, and at that point that run was too strong. It was too late, and this is where we end up.
Yes, sir. So we have 25 down. And our 5th caution. Wilder's having a good time. You having a good time over there, Wilder? I feel like he's probably pretty busy.
Yeah, I'm a little busy here, sir. I'm not
going to be that busy.
It's the drivers, they're still learning. So a guy passed a pace car just speeding up to get into pits. He just thought that might be a clearable black flag, and I let him know that was not one that we can clear.
Yes, sir.
And then got some guys, getting a little chippy, I think. So it's the people are getting frustrated out there by these accidents, I could tell. So
it'll definitely happen in every series, so it doesn't really stop. A lot of these guys, I'm sure most guys, and especially if you get into NASCAR and games, sim, all these guys are really competitive. So
I can think of a few guys that are like that.
That 9, his grill is dented in. I wonder if that's going to affect him out front leading.
It will, 100%.
Yeah, so I wonder how long he's going to be able to stay up front.
Well, and if he doesn't get that fixed too, I mean, it's also going to hurt him if he's the 2nd or 3rd car in line. It's going to be even harder for that car to stay cool, so he's going to have to keep an eye on his engine temperature if he gets back through the field as well.
Yep. So, and then, with this being a new series, there's going to be a lot of guys that accidentally use their fast repairs and don't unclick tires. So there'll definitely be some learning curve here in the next few races.
Yeah, it'll take some time for sure, but they'll get it ironed out. They'll get it together, and it'll clean up. Don't know exactly how long that's going to take, but no harm in these guys learning. That's what this series is for. So sure, it can be a little repetitive and a little redundant at times, but all in all, we will get through it.
Need to see. I know he said the 33 drop, but was back. Don't look like we have about 4 or 5 that are a lap or so down. At least, yeah, it looks like 4 at least lap down. Someone's in the pit, so I can't really see how many laps he is down. But that's not bad. With the amount of cautions you have, you can definitely work your way back. You get some of that damage repaired, get out there and get some clean laps ran for your IPL percentage, and it'll definitely help you out in the long run.
Yeah, with all these cautions, we might not have any lap down cars by the end of this thing.
We will be going green this time by lap 28. We really need a good run here. I don't think we've had a 6-7 lap stint, maybe.
Yeah, somewhere in that ballpark. I mean, we're on our 5th caution on lap 27. You figure about 3 laps per caution. That's 15 laps. So yeah, I mean, good little. Got some yellow flag laps. We could definitely use some green ones. That's for sure.
Well, let's see what the how much that damage can affect that Andrew Ziegler and that number 9 leading the pack here.
And jumps to the high side. Got to pick up the cars there on the outside line. They're going to find their way back down to the bottom of the track. Looks like we got about 4 or 5 here in a row on the bottom before the outside line kind of starts to get formed up here.
Got a couple guys going to be coming down here for serving black flag penalties for various reasons.
And here comes that top line with a huge run now. The 23 of Tim Taylor looking to try to grab the right rear of these cars up here up front. Top line starting to form. The bottom line, they're about 3 cars deep. But again, Ziegler got damage to that nose. That's going to slow that run down just ever so slightly. More drag on the front of the car is going to cause for some delay. And he's a little far out there right now. You're going to have a little bit of the side draft, not too much here, but top line should be
there goes Tim there. Yeah, we had a huge run there. So easy to just jump down right there.
See, I think he just made a mistake right there, though. The 1 or the 7, I can't really quite tell. That Mobil 1 car there on the outside he was trying to stick with him, but he cleared down to the bottom without really having too much help. But it ends up not working out too bad for him. But here we go. Now we see the top line's going to get that momentum again. 23 definitely could have either made that move sooner or waited to bring the Mobil 1 car down with him on the bottom to carry that momentum. But they're still side by side right now. Drivers look like they're getting just a little bit more comfortable. Still a little bit of movement out there, but so far, no harm, no foul.
Yeah, if that top line gets grouped up, it can just be a whole bunch of leapfrog. See, now it's Jace Keller's time to come down, and here in a couple laps, it'll probably be John Stapleton's time to lead a couple laps.
Yeah, I mean, those runs just generate from so far back, and you really got to stay hooked up together to generate that forward momentum. And you see now Tim Taylor giving a huge shot there. Bottom line getting a little squirrely, but they're still holding on to it for now. We got some teammates lined up down there as well. So the 9's in a good spot right now. Again, he's going to have to keep an eye on those temps, make sure that engine's not getting too hot. But being the 3rd car in line.
Oh, there we go. Caution. Somebody just got turned as we seen it right there. Well, they were about to come up on some lap cars. I'll tell you what, there's a handful of cars that got real lucky there because they were about to be a lap down. Oh, that was Frank Zimmel, too. Oh, no.
Falling apart.
Rookie. There we go. Let's watch Frank Zimmel here.
You broadcast just like you drive.
All over the place, huh? Let's see, watch the 11 here in the Coors Light car. Just
hesitated.
Yeah, he hesitated, and that was, maybe Connor could let up a little bit there at that, but by all means, he doesn't have to. Zimmel probably should have just stayed up there. You got to do it. If you're going to do it, if you're going to do it, you got to just do it.
I mean, I just watched it from from Reno's perspective, and he did let out. He was out of the gas.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sometimes, yeah, there's a couple cars that they did a great job missing that, but then they end up collecting each other on the other end of that. So, spatial awareness, man. That's what's going to come down to. A lot of these wrecks are caused by just not knowing what's around you.
Well, and it's just, like I said, man, the runs in this car, they're so quick. And if you're going to make a move, you're better off just committing to make it. But that slight little hesitation, that's all it took. And Zimmel, again, was going to be clear when he made that move and hesitated. And even with Reno being out of the gas, just the sucker hole and the momentum, it carries him to it. And he finds himself turned around and a couple other cars involved as well.
Some of these pits, I'm curious on that 9 if he's going to get his fast repair done. It looks fixed. Well, he did end up using, well, I don't know if he used fast repair. He may not, well, it was pretty dented in. I would assume he probably did use his fast repair, because he didn't stop for long, and I don't think they could have banged that out that quick.
Yeah, I just tried to give him a little pep talk and just let him know we're only halfway through, and might have to, give a little extra space, just to make it to the end here, so we're not, don't have a bunch of cars with a bunch of damage or people getting too many incident points to get, DQ or something like that. Be worth it for them to just give a little extra space, and then those last 5-10 laps, then kind of go at it then.
That is good advice for us all, buddy. I mean, we're not going for stage points. You're going for position points. The only thing that matters is where you really finish in these ARCA series here. So focus on that. Focus on finishing for one. And then you got time to work your way up, especially at a super speedway.
Right. I mean, I'm just looking at it now. I'm looking at the incident points. And we got one guy with 0. Take a guess who you think that might be.
Well, it ain't Reno.
No.
Tim Taylor.
The 51 car, Brandon Dayhoff.
Oh, well. He's learned through trucks. Well, he knows about that IPL. He knows how important it is to stay off.
And then we got Jace Keller, Mike Burns.
Mike Burns, his first ever race, I think he said.
And Carson Smith with 4 incident points. So I think that's pretty good through all this, calamity everybody says that we're having, that they only got 4. That's pretty good.
It's not, listen, a lot of these, one, it was a bad push or two for a wreck. The others have just been trying to eat up the same space as someone else and just not paying attention or not aware. And, those look left, look right that Bryce always harps about are definitely very important, especially on super speedways. So, but everybody is, I haven't seen anybody just ARCA break anybody yet that I've seen on the broadcast. So I feel like they're doing a really good job. Better than we did in trucks at the beginning of last season, that's for sure. Got pulling for old Tim Taylor, though. He's been up front for a while, so.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'd be real excited to pull this off. At least get a handful of laps in. How are we doing on incident points overall? I mean, are there people with a lot? What's our highest number? We don't have to say a name.
22.
That's going to be hard.
22 and a 20.
It's going to be hard to finish at 22.
Right.
So we're going to hit lap 34 for our restart. Tim did not get a good restart up on the high side. Jace Keller and Quinn McLean. They are off, but they got to be careful here because they're going to get too far ahead. And John Stapleton and Dayhoff, I guarantee they're going to know exactly what to do. They're going to get this run, and if they can get ahead of Tim here, they can shoot out to the outside and take that lead. And that's exactly what they're doing. And it looks like he tried to block.
Oh man.
Was that a
Still
block?
green. Check up, everybody. Yeah, I didn't think we were going to make it through that. There's a caution.
There it is. Yep, I don't know if that was just a block. Let's go back and look at that. But they were doing exactly what I was suggesting they do. They were going to get a run there, go up, and because they had to run. And what number was that wrecked? It was the 20-something.
Oh boy. 21, I think. 21 and 56, the second and third place cars there.
Okay, 21. That's what I
Oh
need to
boy.
find. Bad block.
I guess. I mean, I guess that was a block attempt. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I couldn't really see, but we're watching it now. Slow mo. We're gonna try to see here. If we can see anything. They do get a huge run, and I knew if they got ahead of him, those two were going to. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, let's get a different view of that. Let's go to a far chase of Dayhoff here. See if we can see this. I see you getting run on 21 right there. I knew they were going to make this move here. I mean, it just made the most move because they have a lot. Yeah. Oh yeah, he just came. I'm not sure if that was a block or not, but he definitely came up into John Stapleton there. So I don't know how much carnage. I assume that created a lot of carnage there.
Yeah, we got what, 4 or 5 cars on pit road. I think some guys have just been trying to stay out. I don't know if they used their fast repair earlier or it seemed like there was quite a few cars in there and only 4 or 5 on pit road. Seems a little low to me.
Well, there's 2 or 3 without bumpers. It looks like John Stapleton wheel is hanging off, so he's gonna have to use a fast repair as well. Well, we're bound to get some green flag runs when there's not but 8-9 people left on the track, Sean.
Yeah, sorry about that. My Wi-Fi at the hotel just decided it didn't want to work anymore, so I had to do a quick little reset, but we're back.
Yeah, no problem. Were you able to see that incident there?
I kind of saw the last half of it there. Yeah, it was weird. It just everything just froze, and then I figured I was gone, so I tried to reset my Discord, and then it was like, yeah, no, you're not doing anything.
Wow, that's weird knowing how reliable hotel internet is.
All right. Especially when you pay extra for the good stuff.
Oh, did you? Oh, you fell for that, did you?
Well, it does make a difference. It does.
It probably does. But here we are, Brandon Dayhoff out front again.
Yeah, and I mean, with all these caution laps, the front is where you want to be. You're more than likely to stay up there if we get a caution every 2 or 3 laps. So
I know 2nd, 5th, and 6th are all the Texile team there. So maybe they'll be able to link up, maybe race a little bit cleaner, not take each other out.
Is Forrest on that team? Oh, Forrest is with Brandon and them, right?
Yeah. It's Mike Burns, I think James Boca, and who is up there? Who's in the? Oh, Ryan Stevenson.
Connor Burns, and Boca.
Yeah. Yeah, Connor he's gotten quite a few wrecks here. Yeah, he's down to 18th right now. Good looking team car though. Are some good looking cars out there. I do like the looks of these. I like the sound of these ARCA cars. You know, I like how they drive too. Some people aren't a fan, but that I think short track racing is going to be fun in these cars.
Yeah, they're not bad. I don't have a whole lot of seat time in them to really have like a great opinion of them, but I've enjoyed the little bit of seat time I've had with them. They're pretty fun.
You like them, Wilder? I want to keep interrupting him.
Yeah, I haven't run them all that much, but they seem kind of like the Gen 6 car. The Gen 6 was a little crazy last night, but not quite as hard to control as those. But they do, they get that right front tire wear pretty significantly. I've noticed.
Right on. Yeah, you
Could be
did
just
miss
the driver though.
kind of miss you out there, Bryce. We had fun in those Gen 6s. They were a handful in that draft.
Yeah, I texted Will. I said, "You miss having me out there on the super speedways," but yeah, I mean, I'll get some races, and I got that other league that I'm still into that I may be in contention for a championship there. But we'll see what happens. I might pick and choose. Super speedways I might have to show up for, but we'll kind of see how everything plays out.
Well, I think Mr. Chase ended up putting New Atlanta and a Talladega on there, so we still have two more kind of speedway-ish super speedways. If you want to count Atlanta as a super speedway.
Sir, it's actually called Echo Park Automotive Speedway.
Sorry, yep, I apologize. You are right.
Oh, gotta love it.
Here we go with that outside lane. It really loses a lot of go on the start, man. But then a couple laps later, it seems like they get it together.
Well, there's just a lot of bottom feeding right now. Everybody that's starting up top is migrating to the bottom, and that's where that energy is coming from. But like you said, once 3 or 4 guys go to the outside and they get some more people to go with them, that's when that line will start to pick up that energy.
Looks like we're only going to have about 22 on the lead lap now. So that should calm things down a little bit more.
Yeah, a couple guys probably have some fast repairs that they've had to use up as well. So they'll be a little bit more timid because another terminal impact like that and their night will be over. So. Looks like everybody kind of back to playing it a little bit safer for now.
Yeah, I think we're definitely going to get some green flag runs now. I think you're right. I think a lot of them probably abuse their fast repairs. And now they're going to be forced to give each other more room.
Top line still trying to get some momentum going, but not really able to get anything right now. But I'm sure those Tex Ohio guys are going to be looking to get linked up and make a move, and maybe the outside line is where they'll look to do it.
And these top 3 guys, they last pitted on 22, and lap 18. Really, everybody else behind them is pit lap 32 or later, so that's a 10-lap difference. If it goes green, it might not be good for Deha.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have to go at least 10 more to even get within their window to make it to the end. Of course, barring any cautions. But, I mean, I would say, if the yellow comes out in 5 to 6 laps or so, you're going to want to come down and pit for that final stop. You might still need another caution, depending on where you're at in the pack, but I would say this next yellow would be a good opportune time to pit and try to get closer to that fuel window for the end.
Yeah, it's definitely going to shake things up if it don't. Oh, you got somebody in the wall there, slowed up. Looks like everybody avoided him.
Yeah, and that outside line had a decent amount of momentum, but the 88 gets into the wall, and you can see just how quickly that momentum dies on the outside.
He just said his screen went black.
Well, I've been there. I think we all have. They're going to be coming up on a lap car here shortly. See if KLDs can work with Jace Keller up here on this top line, get something going. Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah, that was never going to work.
And there it's going to be. There it is.
Oh, some guys just called out they were going into pit.
Oh my, yeah, that definitely saves some people. We kind of seen that unfold there with Zimmel and whoever that was that got into him. That we'll find out here shortly.
Silver Bullet is just getting damaged all up tonight.
Yeah, was it? All right.
Oh boy, yeah.
There we go. Okay. Yeah, it was 35, just came down on him. Zimmel just minding his own business over here, and that KLD's, I believe, in that 35. Yeah, I don't know if he just thought he was clear. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not really sure on that one either. I don't really have...
Definitely just have to be more aware than that.
If I'm an attorney there, I don't know that this is a case that I'm picking up because not really a whole lot to defend there, unfortunately.
No. Let's try to find a good somewhere, but it's not to be had there. That is, I wouldn't doubt that ended a person's night or two right there. Being a little bit later in the race.
Zimmel's had his fair share of troubles tonight as well, so.
And here comes Dayhoff and them coming down pit lane right now. Looks like number 9 is staying out. Is this bumper damaged again? I feel like Ziegler is a little aggressive in this race, but may need what you...
Yeah, I don't know that he ever got it all the way fixed, but yeah, I mean, I feel like if you're anybody in the field, you have to come down this time by, being super speedway, and I mean, really with how these cautions are going to go, I mean, you're more than likely probably going to be good to go within this window now. So curious, you have to see why he elected to stay out, but
well, you still have 26 laps to go, and you're only getting, what do you say, Wilder? 18 laps, 19 laps, so that's quite a long.
Yeah, I think 19 to 20, somewhere in there.
Okay.
Right, and I would
that
imagine
is gonna be close.
I could be wrong. I would imagine that number probably came from a handful of people that weren't. I mean, I didn't see any big packs like we have for the race and practice, so I would imagine they can at least get another 2 to 3 laps bare minimum while being in a pack, and then again, just with
plus we're not going to 24 left, so.
And I mean, with all the cautions we've had too, I mean, 2 more cautions and that's pretty much set. So.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the top 3 with Ziegler, Smith, and McKee, they last pitted on 32. So I guess I would have definitely come down then and see if you can stretch it out a 20-lap stint into 26 laps. It's worth a shot than having to pit when no one else has to pit.
Well, only one way to find out what's going to happen here. There's nothing to it but to do it.
Can you guys tell if that 9 car still has that damage there? Does he still have that damage on the nose?
No, I thought it looked fixed when he came out of the pits last time. It does not look like he has that damage anymore.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at too, just to see. Just curious, he got out there. Looks like he got it repaired.
Yeah, and it was his last pits, not this one, but the last one. He come out and he was only in there for not long. But like
Okay, so maybe use that fast repair, yeah.
Yeah, so he should not have another one. Yeah, he only stopped for a second, so I don't think he would. I don't think those guys could have got over the wall with that rubber mallet that quick and banged that bumper out.
Hey, you'd be surprised.
So we do have Carson Smith. Who's our young guys in this league? Wilder. We had a few. We had a 15-year-old and like two 17-year-olds, I think, joining us. I want to say
right.
Carson
I know
was
one of them.
them.
Carson was one of them for sure. Braden Denny.
Okay.
Who, he left the session. He was one of them, and I believe I can't remember. Maybe Alfie too.
Okay.
Let's see if I can bring that sheet up.
Looks like I don't know, dude. It looks like there's a tiny bit of damage on that nose. The top of the bumper looks like it's caved in just a little.
That's the way them ugly Mustangs look.
Yeah, that's what I was asking to see if you guys could see it, because it looks like the top, right? The top, just above the grill in the middle.
It does a little bit, doesn't it?
Look at the car directly behind him. That
I know. How clean that one looks. Yeah, he might have just.
I don't think it'll hurt him too much, though.
No, he was keeping up with that mashed in front earlier, so it shouldn't be an issue this time, I don't think. Only thing that's going to hurt him is that fuel.
I'll go green here. We'll revisit their ages later.
.25 to go. Going to be 24 now as they cross the line. Green flag back out in the air once again. Let's see if these drivers can't kind of get settled down here just a little bit, get into a rhythm, and try to turn some green laps here.
Here we go. The 21 and 22 of the McLean brothers are almost linked up together. Right now in P4 and P6.
Carson Smith leading the field to the line that time by. Both lines, they have pretty much equal amount of cars in every lane. Bottom line is going to get the advantage in the center of the corner, but the top line should kind of get the advantage down the straights if they get linked up properly. Curious to see how they'll start managing these runs. I mean, being 23 laps to go, time ticking down, patience running thin, I'm sure the aggressiveness is going to start to pick up here just a little.
Yeah, I'm curious. The third one back is in the 22, which is Sean McLean. I wonder if he's going to let his brother in, which is second in line in the top line. So I'm sure they want to try to link up there. Now we know Brett McKee can win because he did win one of those preseason races too. So
yeah, I mean, you definitely want to try to find some friends or in their case family out there, but you can't hard commit it.
Oh, there we go. There's Tim Taylor.
Tim Taylor, yeah.
Probably not going to be a caution though.
Yeah, does a good job of limiting the damage there, physical and track position wise. So stay green for now.
Go back, take a quick look at that, see what happens before we go back live. Oh, yeah, that Sharpie car just whipped it up there. Little damage for Taylor. Unfortunately for him, it was enough for iRacing to drop that caution.
Top line now starting to make some moves. Corey Moore going to be leading the charge on the outside row. I see Alfie making a move to the outside. He got the Sharpie car kind of stuck in the middle now. He'll end up clearing on the bottom side, so he'll be able to make his way back up. But bottom line looks a little bit more organized as of right now, but I say give it another lap and a half to 2 laps, and that outside line will really start rolling here soon. Potentially some lap traffic up ahead as well. That can make things a little interesting.
Yeah, especially how, I mean, they're not being very steady. So, yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see where this car goes and how these guys are going to navigate that lap car.
Definitely a lot of lateral movement out there.
Corey Moore's out front now. See how he's going to handle this.
And you can just see the difference in speed now to this lap car. One solo car versus a whole pack. That's
There
about
we
a
go.
10 to 20 mile an hour difference. Just blow his doors right off.
Yeah, look at that speed difference there. It's Christopher Dyke does wise, stays up high.
Getting a little dicey up there. And if Dyke is smart, though, he'll definitely try to tug in and try to hang on to this draft.
Yeah, there you go. Yep, looks like he's going to lead the charge in the outside lane.
Yeah, Christopher Dyke had a little packet loss as well. Second driver with that issue.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
Got to see that
big
live. There's the big
that's
one.
The big one.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'll do her.
yep, that got a lot of them. All right, we might go green from here on out because there's about to be a lot of people out of this race. Let's go back and see what started this all. So I'm watching Christopher Dyke here.
Ooh, check up on the bottom.
Yeah, 30 checked up on the 22. He ended up still turning the 22 there. Then those two teammates got into each other.
Yeah, just an accordion on the bottom line. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what started that checkup with the 30 car.
Yes.
I mean, because that almost looked like he was on the brakes.
Yeah, it was
I
a
think
30
the
or
47
22 there.
The 47 and 92 got into each other in front of them, that pack that wrecked, and then maybe that just checked them up a little bit.
All right. Yep. Well, here's 47. We'll see them kind of get into it here. But
saw the 47 being pretty aggressive too. I mean, we saw him get into Tim Taylor and saw him kind of cutting up through the field, trying to. I mean, got his way up to the front. I don't know if that's the way I would have done it, but I mean, he got himself up there. So, guess you can't really say too much. But we ultimately see how it turns out for him.
yeah, then here we go. Then these guys, they kind of. Yep, there's the contact right there, and he ended up getting McKee loose, which kind of 22 probably checked. Yeah, there you go. See the flames coming out of the exhaust there. He checked up, which spun to 30 and still ended up collecting the 22. Just unfortunately got a lot of guys wrapped up in that. Let's see what we have on pit road.
I mean, we're definitely in our window now. So.
Definitely a lot of cars coming in and getting some repairs done. Told you we had about, what, 23, 25 on the lead lap earlier?
That number is going to be dwindling down pretty quickly. I know that.
Yeah, it looks like we're about 19, and we'll see if those were able to come out of the pits or not during this. Corey Moore's going to be in the lead. I said I'm gonna pull Corey. I'm gonna pull Corey Moore up again. Let's make him a little nervous. Hey Corey, Sean and Bryce up in the booth again. Just want to talk to you since it looks like you got the lead here, and we're gonna. By the time we go, we should have about 14 left to go.
Yes, sir. We're all fueled up and ready to rock, and hopefully we can stay right where we're at.
All right. Yeah. You have any other teammates close to you, man? Maybe can help you out.
I got John. John's in 8th. John Stapleton, 56. He's in 8th, so hopefully he can get up here pretty quick and give me a hand.
All right. Are y'all communicating good out there?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's good. That's good. Any strategy coming out here? Are you going to try to just hug that bottom line? The bottom line seems to be working a little bit better, although if they link up on the high line, they are able to get a real good run, it seems, after about a lap or two on the restart.
Yeah, that's what got me up here in the first place, so I'm going to keep an eye on that high line. I may have to slide up there.
I gotcha. It's kind of a good plan. Well, said looks like you're 1 to go now. It should be 14 to go when we get going. So hopefully we can stay green, finish this thing strong, man. So good luck to you.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
All right, bye. There we go. It seems like he's a fan of that outside line, which is what got him up there. So
not a bad place to be.
Have a guy we haven't talked about. Scott Stotler is up there in P2 and at the 88 there.
Yeah, the more and more that these
plus 28
wrecked out.
Yeah, plus 28 spots.
Yeah, more cars getting wrecked out. That's going to cycle up the field, and some cars that were out front are going to be out back. Some cars that were out back are going to be up front, and some cars that were in the middle, they might stay in the middle. So could be it's going to be quite the race here with 14 to go when we cross the line next time by. I mean, again, intensity is going to start picking up, and these moves are going to happen quicker, and they're going to be more aggressive. So hopefully we can keep it together here. See what happens.
I think there's a chance.
There's always a chance. Now, the probability on that chance may be pretty low, but could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
Well, as we get ready to go across this line, it'll be 14 to go. See if we can't keep it green. Have a good, clean finish here at the end.
Corey gets a good jump. 88, you can dive in below him on the bottom line, and that's kind of been the trend on all these restarts is some of these guys from the top are instantly finding their way on the bottom, and that's what's kind of stalling out that run for those first few laps on the outside. But as they pick up momentum and gain more cars, that's when that top line starts to come in. And we just heard it from Corey Moore. He's definitely got his eye out there on the top line. We'll see if he chooses to stay on the bottom or if he'll migrate back up to the top here later on in this run.
Well, you know Dayhoff. Oh, never mind. Dayhoff just tucked in and got in line down at the bottom. I was going to say, you know he'll push 54 up front, but he decided to bail on that. Maybe he sees a better option down there on the low side.
Yeah, and he could just be the one that wants to be out front, right? I mean, get to the bottom, get a little bit of a draft, get that top speed up, get the momentum, and then kick out to the top side and try to propel yourself to the front of that outside line. But that outside line is now dead. There's only one car out there right now, and the bottom line is going to be rolling. You see a couple guys, though, looking to make a move. That's going to cycle the number 92 of McKee out to the top side. He's going to try to side draft and do what he can to keep that forward momentum. But if he doesn't get any help, he's going to be hung out to dry. And it looks like he has some help coming. A little tight there, down there on the bottom. This could get interesting here. He's going to clear back down, though.
I'll tell you one
top
thing.
Line is starting to be an option, but
yeah, I tell you one thing. You better not leave any room for that 9 to squeeze in, because he's going to make that car squeeze in there.
And now that's going to leave Dayhoff out to dry. He's going to need some help here if he's going to want to make his way back up there.
That 88 is he's lined up real steady. He's pushing Corey Moore really well.
And that's what you need to get it done here at Daytona. Again, just got to keep an eye on those temps, make sure that we're not blowing up in front of the field, because that'll be a disaster, and that's just not a position you want to be in. You go from hero to zero real quick.
I've been behind a guy that blew up on a super speedway. It's not fun.
No, it is
when
not.
they lose 20 miles an hour when you're 2 foot from them. You see some quite a bit of separation back here.
Yeah. On top of what, 15 or so cars all lined up, and then we're starting to
yeah, 13
gaps.
Exactly is what it is. So then we got one that maybe be able to catch it. I don't know if he's going to be able to. Then we have another group of 3, then another group of 4. Oh, I don't know what slowed them up back there, but there's Tim Taylor. So maybe they can link up with this guy before. They should be able to catch those guys.
Yeah, I mean, once these guys up front in this lead pack start getting side by side and side drafting, that's going to be their chance here now. Saw a pretty big checkup at the start of the green flag. I would imagine that's kind of where that separation started, but you can see the 88 of Stotler kind of backs off Corey Moore, letting some air get to the front of that nose, and he's going to be pushing hard here again. So they're going to be rolling here. They're going to be, I mean, these guys are pretty much going to be near top speed in these cars right now with how they're lined up on the bottom.
Down there bottom, 189 right there. Give a nice little push.
Yeah, I mean, Moore and Stotler right now, they're looking pretty solid right now.
They are, man. He's real steady.
Should get a big bump here down the backstretch.
You can hear those
91,
RPMs just rev up.
92, 93.
I've seen a 94, 95 was the highest I've seen. Let's go look at Dayhoff back there. Let's see what they're cruising at back here. Should be a little slower because they're going to have to check up a little bit because you can't really push these guys.
See a little bit of movement up ahead.
Yeah, a lot of throttle modulation there. Let's see if these guys. These guys all caught up, but this one hadn't.
Yeah, he's only going to get further and further behind, so he's going to need a yellow.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, they have a third one catching them, and that's it. So they're just 3.
And they're out on an island. They're going to need a last lap caution, or excuse me, a last lap wreck or a caution to get some freebies back from that far back.
Yeah, but Corey Moore and Stotler are really impressed how well they're working together. They're going to be hard to deal with at the end if they're still linked up.
Yeah, we'll see if Stotler's going to hard commit too, right? I mean, he definitely has the option of stepping out and making a move on the last lap as well, so that may open the door for somebody else to creep on in. Here comes the top line now, though, getting more cars up there. The top line going to start to roll here. We're going to have to keep an eye on that and make sure that that run doesn't generate too quickly because they can lose the lead here. A little bit of movement up top. That's going to check them up momentarily.
Yeah, that 9
should be able to carry some momentum, though.
Yeah, Dayhoff bailed. Yep. Very wise, because that 9 and that looks like the 5 are not working very well together, creating a lot of movement. It's definitely get Dayhoff says, I'm out of here, guys.
Yeah, he's just not able to get in front of it, though. I know that's what he's looking for. He's wanting to use the momentum from the bottom side to clear these cars on the high line, and then he'll more than likely jump up. You see it there from that pink car. I can't quite make out the number, but he's going to get hung out to dry. So that's going to cycle him back.
I'm telling you, you cannot leave that 9 any room. He will take it.
Yeah, you see he's looking for it pretty hard right there. And just like that, the top line has all the momentum and a couple of loose moments there, a couple of pushes that weren't square, and that top line is now non-existent. So they're going to have to try to get synced back up and formulate that momentum all over again.
Yeah, they got to. Yep, 9's gonna have to fall in line. He is quite all over the place. He's gonna have to get that steering ratio down.
Yeah, he's making some aggressive moves, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. He's just got to be careful. He's come awfully close a couple times here. You can see it's costing him, right? I mean,
it is. Yep.
Starting to gain some separation, and he's just going to be out on an island out there.
He definitely is. I mean, yeah. I mean, he's just gonna have to fall behind Stapleton there in that 56 car eventually. Just get in line and not try to race with 5 to go. I mean, you got to catch that big group. That's your main concern, is to catch this group. Get in line, catch this group.
He is out there, shades of Tom Hanks right there, just screaming Wilson, trying to find.
Look what happened to Corey Moore. What happened to Corey Moore?
Oh no. That's a great question.
Well, we're gonna have to go back and look. Maybe he just got a bad push there. Oh, it was a lap car. Oh, wow. They were just going, yep. Kind of got to communicate over the comms before, you know.
If you're Corey Moore, you're probably seeing red right now.
Yeah, but you know, being Corey out leader, I don't know if he called it over the comms, but he has to ask that guy or tell him, hey, you know, high, low, get out of the way. We're coming up on you, something.
Yeah, but you got to know that though, being a lap car too. I mean, it's on both for sure, but the problem there that I saw is that the 47, the Sharpie car, he wasn't committed to any part of the track, and you have to be predictable, and he wasn't, and ultimately that's going to cost Corey Moore the win here. I mean, you have the right as a lap car to run wherever you want to run, but you got to commit to a line, and you got to be predictable. And he was on the bottom, and then he drifted up middle of the pack and ended up kind of inadvertently blocking Corey Moore and ends up getting into him. And like I said, you go from
oh, there we go
0.
with the caution. Maybe Corey Moore has another one. We have a caution out with 3 to go. We're going to go to green, white checker. It looks like John Stapleton's off the track. Dad Miller crashed. Let's check this out. Well, that looks like a good one. Just that tiny group. Corey Moore is still back there. I hope he should have his fast pair left.
Yeah, Corey seems like a smart enough guy to be holding on to that one.
Ooh, yeah, it looks like the 46 got a little squirrely there and just tried to come back up with it. Of course, it's so split second. There, Corey Moore. Might as well go ahead and get a little bit more damage.
Yeah, why not?
Why not? A lot more damage too. And that probably, that 9, if he used that fast spare for that bumper, his race is probably going to be done. I don't know about these other guys. Hopefully Corey will be able to have his fast spare. I'd pull him up now, but I feel like he might be in a foul mood. My picks are just dropping, Bryce.
Yep, that's why I made the smart decision to not pick anybody.
I got Dayhop left. Now, I don't know if Corey Moore is getting towed right now, because he had a lot of damage and took a lot of damage. So he's either sitting in the pits getting repaired or he's getting towed. I guess we'll see when he comes out. But either way, he's going to end up being a lap down.
Yeah, and he's not going to have much time left to try to salvage that. So
no. Although there are 3 green, white checkered, so.
Yeah, I mean, I guess never say never.
Tim Taylor getting
He's
his
about
lap
to-
back.
Yeah, there you go. That'd be a plus for him.
It was. I'm curious to see if that'll put him back on the lead lap there.
All I know is business is about to pick up even more than it has been.
I think it will. I think that's going to put him on the lead lap. Unfortunately, it's going to be the end of the line.
I was just looking at the incident points. We got quite a few guys that are right on the cusp of that 20 mark, which would give you a drive-through. A couple of them are up towards the front there too, so should be interesting.
Oh, very interesting. Yeah, because you definitely don't want to get a bump right across the finish line. Well, Sean, do you have any predictions here on these green, white, checkered when we get back green here?
Well, I'm thinking Mr. Dayhoff might be one to beat that 92 car as well. I like where they're at right now, and I think they both won preseason races. So I mean, I think those are pretty good bets.
Those are. Any of these guys. Of course, any of these guys here had won the race. Nobody in the ARCA series has won a HVRL race. So.
Oh, Corey Moore disconnected and then reconnected. I don't know, man. And we had another guy. He was removed from the server and he didn't have DQ. So I don't know. We have to figure that out after the race.
That is strange. Shame for Corey Moore. I was pulling for him.
All right, we'll see what these guys got. This should be interesting. This should be a shootout.
It definitely should. Let's see if they can keep it clean. Here we go. 2 to go. Is Brent McKee already spinning off? I don't know what happened there.
He came down on Dayhoff. Dayhoff kept it straight. He came down on him. Just not clear.
Unfortunately, the 88 has way too big of a gap. Yeah, he's going to get railroaded right there.
There goes Dayhoff. He's going to push the one.
There we go. Ryan Stevenson backed up there too.
Oh, man, they're getting out there. They get that 3-car pack might just take off with this thing here.
Yeah, those guys got to quick inside by side and link up here just so to catch them. Let's see if we can at least cross this final lap.
It is so hard to to do though when you're at the end of the race trying to maintain a position.
There we go. No more cautions. This is the final lap. We have Jace Keller leading it here. In all likelihood, that should be your top 3. Oh, but there we go with Scott Stotler back in the mix. He's going to try to put, he went a little early,
Yeah, I think so too.
Nothing's
He's
gonna
hoping
happen
he's
there.
gonna get some help.
Yep.
We'll see if the 88 can do anything. He's kind of boxed in.
Dayhoff's going to try to go on the outside here.
Oh, I don't know if that's a good move.
Bobby seemed to do it.
Turn.
Oh, it will. It will.
3, 4 wide. Sideways everywhere. 54.
Mason. Some people are going to get DQ'd, though, right there, though. That's going to change the standings up. Yep, that's going to change up a lot on who really, where people finished. See what happened to Dayoff.
Carson Smith got it, though.
I think you're right there. Let's find out what happened. Just a corner push there. You got to protect that yellow line coming out. You cannot drift up like that on these final corners like that. That is a lesson he'll probably learn. And then you got the 88 coming, trying to go 3 wide right there to the finish.
Yeah, I just replayed that wreck. That was quite. There were some impacts in there. That was pretty rough.
And then 29 got turned, which got Dayhoff got turned. Close at the line there. Yeah, great race. Holler at them, let know top 3 to the broadcast booth. Waiting room, please. What definitely an interesting finish. And it looks like our thoughts are going to be.
Sorry about that. Turned you down. We got some. Want to tell them guys get up in the broadcast room here.
I do appreciate it. Let's see what the race is here. Let's see who we got. P1, 2, and 3. Carson Smith, Ray Stevenson, and Sean McLean for our top 3. And that's who we're going to get to talk to tonight.
Well, looks like we got all 3. Want to go ahead and get to Sean?
Not yet.
Okay.
Good race there. That was a real good race. Yep, go ahead and bring up Sean McLean there and start it off, man.
Hey, Sean. Good job, man. P3. Quite a bit of cautions there, but how'd you feel like the race went?
Thanks. It was pretty choppy. I didn't qualify great, so it was kind of in the back. A lot of cautions, like you said, trying to stay out of some of the X's going on, and managed to fight my way back up to the front at the end. So all in all, I mean, it's great, but boy, there was a lot of carnage going on.
Yeah, there definitely was. As I see on my score sheet here, you're plus 21. Looks like plus 23. You might have tied with another guy for the biggest mover, though. Looks like Ballman got 5th with plus 23 spots, and you're in 3rd with plus 21. So definitely some good movement from the back to front. How was it starting in the back and trying to work your way to the front?
I think you already know the answer, but holy. I mean, there was just some crazy stuff early on. I try to be patient, but not everybody's got that same level of patience. First race, excited. It was a little hectic. I had to had to serve a black flag once, and so I mean, it had a little bit of everything. Let's put it that way.
Well, 3rd should definitely get you some points there. Why don't you walk us through those final corners there? Because it looks like you were in about 8th or 9th coming out of turn 4.
Yeah, I was, and I mean, I had a good head of steam, and I was gonna jump to the outside coming out of 4 as I saw some guys. There was an opportunity maybe to pick up a spot or 2, and then I think a couple of guys got crossed up, and then I kind of tried to dive back to the bottom, and then luckily I think somebody and I collided a bit, but it wasn't much, so kept me under 20x anyway. But it was a tough night for the X, that's for sure. So happy with P3.
All right. Anybody you want to shout out, man, before we let you go?
Yeah, a guy who does graphics on our cars, 21 Race Graphics, which is my brother. as well as our family here who is into this a little bit and kind of got me into it. So JMX Speed Shop and a couple other guys. So a lot of fun. Appreciate what you guys do here. Appreciate the league. Looking forward to the rest of the season.
All right, we'll see you next week, man. Good job.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, good job, man.
Thanks.
All right, let's go ahead and we got Ryan Stevenson who finished P2.
Hey Ryan, how you
Hey,
doing,
Ryan.
man? Yeah, great finish, buddy.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Sean. I know you had a question for him.
So a lot of cautions there. We know we watched them all. So how'd you fare through that? How many incident points you end up with? You end up with a lot, or where'd you end up there?
20.
Yeah,
Wasn't too
that's
fun.
yeah, that's unfortunate. There's just a lot of wrecks. It's hard to avoid them all, and it just kind of, it is what it is. It's Daytona, right?
Yeah. I mean, team worked great together, so that's a plus.
Yeah, you know, a 20X isn't a killer. Like it's going to put you a little bit behind the 8-ball, but it's still with the amount of kind of easier tracks coming up and the amount of decent amount of laps, that you should be able to get your percentage down okay. As long as you have a couple good races, you shouldn't have too many issues. It looks like you started what, 7th or so? So you were up front. I mean, y'all have a lot of the same paint scheme, so it's hard to see the numbers on some of the camera views, but I know some of y'all were up there quite a bit, so.
Yeah, I mean, we tried to stay up front, but unfortunate events happened early in the race there. But hey, it is what it is. You work from the back.
Right. What track do we have next, Mr. Sean?
We have Las Vegas.
Las Vegas. That's what I thought it was. You have any practice on Vegas there, Ryan?
I did the one preseason race.
Okay.
Vegas, but
how'd you fare?
Not much. I DNF'd out of that one.
Well,
that one was that was quite the caution fest too, I believe. Unfortunately.
Yeah. What took me out of that one was I tried to go through the infield and car came down and took me out. So.
Well, that'll definitely happen. Well, I mean, a P2 start the ARCA series will definitely give you a leg up on the points. I mean, that's going to give you a good boost on the points to try to make the chase. So.
Yeah, but didn't want it to end that way, spinning the one.
Well, you know, last corner, last straightaway, you know, those things kind of happen. You know, I mean, I said it on the broadcast. He should have stayed on the line, to be honest with you. He shouldn't really open that up on that last straightaway there. I mean, you can't really open that up. You have to protect that bottom when you're down there. So, you know.
Yeah.
There's always wrecks right there where that wreck happened, and sometimes you just have to be the lucky one to make it through.
Yeah.
So, you got anybody you want to shout out or thank or anything like that before we let you go, man?
Just everyone at Tex Hio Motorsports. I mean, we all did great, stuck to our strategy, and kept trucking.
Awesome, man. Well, we appreciate you, and good luck next week.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah, congrats, man.
Thanks.
All right, we got our first HVRL ARCA Series winner. Congrats, Carson.
Thank you very much.
And I believe you are also one of our younger drivers in the league here. You're 17, huh?
I am 17 years old. Yep.
Nice, man. So, what'd you think of the race? How'd it go? There's a lot of cautions, we know, but how'd it go for you? I brought you up earlier because you were one of the lower incident guys in the towards the middle part of the race, I believe. So you did a pretty good job staying out of everything.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think the race was pretty good. You know, there were a few cautions. I was just worried about that. I think it was a second to last caution. I had about 3 laps of fuel left, and I think we had like 15 laps to go. So I was like hoping we would get a caution, and I was just trying to stick with it. And luckily, we did get a caution, and I was able to fuel up. And I wasn't expecting to win at all. I was like, we're gonna stay in our lanes and be all good. But you know, at the end, you know, everybody wants to win it. So there was some stuff that happened at the end, but I'm glad it all worked out, and I hope everybody had fun racing.
Hey, that's just how it works sometimes, man. Sometimes, especially on that last straightaway, there seems to always be wrecks right there, and sometimes you just have to be the lucky one where the seas part and you just fly on through.
Yeah.
How many incidents did you have?
I had 10 incident points.
All right, 17, 10 incidents, and a winner at our season opener at Daytona. I don't want to hear any excuses from anybody in the league. That is for sure. Look at that. It can be done and keep the incident count low. It's a really great job. We started talking to you about the halfway through the broadcast. We started seeing you kind of up there, started making some moves. So great job. And those cars just parted for you as we were watching a replay right there. I'm in perfect
Yeah.
for you. And I don't even think you had a touch through all that either. So great job, man.
Thank you very much.
Anybody you want to shout out? Oh, well, first, how do you feel about Vegas next week? You feel like you have anything to maybe go back to back or?
Hopefully. I'm definitely going to start practicing harder now. It's just kind of hard to practice when you don't have other cars to help push you through the race and see how it's really going to go when next Tuesday comes. So
Yeah, those
yeah,
AIs aren't near as fun.
not as
Yeah,
great. Nope, not at all. But I think you can set the strength level. So I'm going to try that out, see how it goes.
Yeah, you could do that. We'll set up a practice for you guys next Monday night, the night before the race too. So hopefully we get some guys in there and you can, get some ideas of how you want to run that race and get the feel for other cars around you on that track.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Now,
I think that was our
go.
first pre-race was at Vegas, and I think I think it went pretty good for the first pre-race of the ARCA series.
Right. Yep.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, it's still kind of you kind of don't get spread out as much as you think you would at Vegas. It's still pretty tight racing, so that's probably why we had quite a few cautions the last time we were there. But hopefully people learned and we can clean it up this time by. But is there anybody you want to thank or shout out to, man?
Yeah, I definitely want to thank my mom and dad for definitely getting me into racing. I race outside of this. I'm a dirt car driver at Mill Bridge in North Carolina. Yeah, so really just thankful for all of them and getting me open to getting the simulator to practice. So I wouldn't be here without them at all.
Awesome. Are they were they watching you win this one or?
My mom was watching me win this one, and she was like inside, outside, and always trying to be my own personal spotter because the iRacing spotter is off sometimes, but she was ready and she was on the clock.
That's awesome, man. That is awesome. So
yeah, you got some nice parents there too, man.
Oh yeah, they're great. They're awesome.
Oh, I know. Mine would yell at me and just tell me to clean my room. So, well, that's awesome, man. All right. Well, congratulations. And
thank you very much.
Hopefully we'll see you next week, man.
Yeah, of course.
All right.
Oh, well.
That was Carson Smith.
Yeah. Final thoughts?
Yeah, just kind of unfortunate about all the cautions and stuff. But I mean, I think we kind of knew that practice race we did last week was pretty good. And for the real thing, we thought everybody was going to be probably a little bit more aggressive because it's the real thing and really try to, push the boundaries. And so, yeah, I think it was a Daytona race, of course.
Yeah. I mean, we expected this. I think kind of. I guess it still could have been a lot worse. Really,
Yeah,
I mean, there were just some people that were probably a little too aggressive. Then I think a lot of them had to do with just some people just not knowing about their surroundings as much as they probably need to. Other than that, it really wasn't a whole bunch of really dumb mistakes or anything like that. So that is good, I guess, overall.
Yeah. For sure.
I'm definitely looking forward to Vegas. And really a lot of these races this season. So, I mean, we have a lot of good tracks coming up. Not to mention it's a money race next week. So.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's a whole nother element to it.
Yeah, right. Give them a little something to race for. I mean, that's a whole nother track at least. Right. You can buy, which some of these guys may not have. But
That's true.
yeah, you can go ahead and go over these top 10 or 18 here on the list if you like. That I have the results pulled up.
All right, we got P1, Carson Smith. P2 was Ryan Stevenson. P3, Sean McLean. Andrew Ziegler was P4. Tyler Ballman, P5. Scott Stotler, P6. Brandon Dayhoff, P7. Forrest Martin, P8. James Bolka, P9. And Jace Keller rounded up the top 10 there. Then we have Gregory Vadnais, I think that's how it is. P11, Thad Miller. P12, Brent McKee. He was up front there. Unfortunate incident towards the end there. P13, Josh Revel. P14, Tim the Toolman Taylor. And P15, Joe Ketchmar. P16, Quinn McLean. P17, John Shields. P18, Mike Burns. P19, John Stapleton. P20. You want to get the rest?
No, nope, that'll work, man. I think that'll work.
Went through top 20.
Yeah, yeah, top 20. You got to get in the top 20 for us to holler out your name, man.
Yeah.
So, well, that's all from us. It's been Sean and Bryce stepping in, helping us out as well. You know, overall, pretty good week one of our 3 series there. Definitely looking forward to week 2, and we'll catch y'all Friday night with our GOAT broadcaster, Matthew Chase, doing our race 1 of the round 8 of the Cup Series. That should be exciting. So tune in Fridays.
Watkins Glen should be a good one.
Oh yeah, it'll be great. So we'll catch you.